What happened on your worst date? So I matched with this girl Beth on a dating app a couple weeks ago. She seemed perfect, honestly. We texted back and forth for like 2 weeks straight before deciding to meet up at this nice Italian place downtown. I got there first and waited outside for maybe 10 minutes before going in. Beth was already sitting at a corner table, scrolling through her phone with a glass of water. The moment I walked over and she looked up at me, something weird happened. Her smile just dropped, like she recognized me but was trying to hide it or something. I figured maybe she was just nervous. First dates are always awkward, right? So I sat down and tried to start normal conversation. Asked how her day was, if she found the place okay. Basic stuff, but Beth was barely responding. Just short answers like, yeah and fine, while staring at her phone every few seconds. Then she started laughing at random moments when I wasn't even saying anything funny. I'd be talking about work or whatever and she'd just giggle and look around the restaurant. It was so strange. I thought maybe she was on something or having some kind of breakdown. We ordered appetizers and I kept trying to make conversation about those documentaries we both liked. She seemed completely uninterested now, just picking at the bruschetta and checking her phone constantly. I was starting to think this whole thing was a mistake. About halfway through eating, our waitress came back to refill our waters. She was this blonde girl, probably early 20s. The second she saw me sitting there, she completely froze, like she'd seen a ghost or something. She just stood there holding the water pitcher, staring at me with her mouth slightly open. Then she leaned down and whispered something in Beth's ear. I couldn't hear what she said, but Beth's eyes went wide, and she looked at me with this expression I'd never seen before. Pure shock, mixed with disgust. Beth immediately stood up, grabbed her purse, and said, "Excuse me, I have to go." Just like that. No explanation, no goodbye, nothing. She walked straight out of the restaurant and left me sitting there with a half-eaten plate of food and no clue what just happened. I was completely confused. The waitress was still standing there, looking uncomfortable and fidgeting with her apron. I asked her what the hell was going on. Why did my date just run away? What did she tell her? The waitress hesitated for a long moment, then sat down across from me. She said, "Look, I just didn't want her to get hurt. I had to warn her." I asked her what that meant. Warn her about what? She took a deep breath and said, "You dated my sister last year, Rachel Thompson. You told her you were single and looking for something serious. You weren't. You had a whole wife living in Portland. She found out when your wife called her phone one night." My stomach dropped. Rachel. I remembered her. We'd gone out maybe 5 or 6 times before things got complicated, but that was years ago, not last year, and I'd been divorced for 3 years by then. There was definitely no wife in Portland. I tried to explain this to the waitress, but she just shook her head. My sister was devastated. She really liked you, and now I find out Beth works with her at the same marketing firm downtown. They've been friends for months. Rachel told her all about the married guy who broke her heart. The pieces started falling into place. Beth hadn't just randomly lost interest in me during dinner. She'd figured out exactly who I was within minutes of the waitress seeing me. Her friend Rachel had probably described me in detail, told her about our dates, maybe even shown her pictures. I sat there feeling sick to my stomach, not because I'd done anything wrong, but because there was literally nothing I could say to fix this situation. Even if I tracked down Rachel and proved I'd been divorced the whole time we dated, the damage was done. Beth thought I was some cheating scumbag who destroyed her friend's trust. The waitress was still sitting there looking at me with this mixture of suspicion and pity. I paid the check, left a decent tip, and walked out into the parking lot. My car felt like a cage. I just sat there for probably 20 minutes trying to process what had happened. I never heard from Beth again, didn't even try to contact her.